This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, Jesyca Rodenberg with Silver Sparkle, Jeff Carson with Jayhawk Theater, Pat Michaelis with the Harry Colmery Park, and Jared Starkey with 712 Innovations.
Well, folks, here in the studio with me is a community activist. I'll just call you that because, like, you were talking about what you were involved in, and we were just catching up before, and you were like, you got too many things here on the plate, and you're doing a great job with all of them.
Well, thank you.
It's Jesyca Rodenberg here in the studio with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's always a delight when I get to come and sit at the green table with you.
Sometimes the green table, tan table, whatever. We change it a little bit every once in a while.
I have to admit, I like this one.
Do you like the green table?
I like the green table. It's very homey, and it has lots of leg room underneath. There's nothing bumping my ankles.
That's good. We like that. So yeah, we got a few new digs since the last time you were in here.
It's sharp. Y'all should stop by sometime.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And come by. We'll do an interview. That's how it works.
Exactly.
We'll talk about Topeka or something, right? Mainly.
Hopefully.
Well, okay, we wanted to talk about a few things you were working on.
Okay.
You told me about this thing called Silver Sparkle, and it's tied in with the Silverbacks, which I think is just an incredible organization. We actually re-aired an interview we did with Jude Quinn a while back.
Sure.
And we put that on our show, so you can find that interview with him to find out all about, I think it was about a year ago, maybe two, I don't know, but it's on there. Just search it on our website. But a great organization. He'll tell this story about the trip that he had to the White House to receive the Points of Light Award.
Love it.
Just really cool.
They are amazing, and there are so many ways that you can give back in a community, and wherever your heart is, and so there are government organizations, there are faith-based organizations, there are nonprofit organizations, and then there are people who are just willing to step up and do an amazing thing. And I think, and all of them are wonderful, but watching Silverbacks grow, and we were talking about it before we turned on the cameras, be the change, and actually saying, here's the need, and sometimes you need to meet a need right where people are at, and that gift of whatever it is can be that turning point for them. And so that's been an amazing thing for me to watch, just as a member of the community. And so for a lot of these girls, it isn't just about prom, and it isn't just about the dress. And I think when people hear that we're raising dresses or doing a dress drive or trying to raise money to pay for dry cleaning, they're thinking, these girls, they have so much else facing them. A dress isn't that important. And I'm a big believer in tradition and kind of rites of passage. And just like when you graduate, and as important as graduation is, you want that cap and gown. You want to mark the occasion of saying this is the next step. And for a lot of young women, prom is that opportunity of starting to see themselves not as a little girl, not as a teenager, but starting to look at the road ahead of them. It is a big night of potential.
Yeah.
And I don't think a young woman should be denied that because she can't afford a dress.
Yeah.
And I think that providing a young woman with a dress is an opportunity to say, you get to choose what your future holds. And that's what Silver Sparkle is going to be about. Saying to the young women of Topeka, you get to choose what your future holds. We're going to let you choose a dress, and we are going to encourage you to choose your schoolwork and your academics and a career, and you get to choose. And one of the things that we're also integrating is some self-esteem training and some self-defense training. We're in talks, and so many moving pieces right now, but also because part of that self-defense is, again, you get to choose. And every girl should be given every opportunity and every tool at our disposal. So yes, we are going to hook them up with prom dresses.
Excellent.
And we're going to make sure that they feel beautiful and amazing inside and outside, and we're going to make sure that they feel safe.
Going back and thinking about it, like, a group of people coming together to put prom dresses together for, girls who need the help with prom dresses. Like, I think we're seeing more community involvement, and people are trying to look out for each other here a little bit, more so than they had in the past. I feel, and in my lifetime anyway.
Oh, it's a big change. Even from when I was in high school, which we won't talk about when that was, because it was.
You graduated what, 3 or 4 years ago?
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
You still have like 18 or 19 prom dresses that you couldn't pick from, right? Like. Yeah, and the shoes to match.
Okay, I do have the shoes to match. Like the dresses I don't have. I've either donated them or I could wear them as leg warmers now.
So just to summarize this whole piece here. Okay, so Silver Sparkle.
Silver Sparkle.
It's going to help girls go to prom and feel very comfortable and have a very memorable event.
Yes. And
you need some help. You need people to donate dresses if they have them. How do they do that?
You can either email me, Jesyca at Silverbackk KS. So it's silverbackks.org.
Yes.
So
2 Ks.
2 Ks. Yes.
And then that's how I had to remember it. Yes.
They can email me if you've got a lot of dresses. We can talk about a pickup. We've actually.
Is there a Facebook page for this as well?
The Silver Teens page.
Silver Teens.
Silver Teens. So there's Silverbacks and then there's Silver Teens.
Okay.
Amazing group of kids doing amazing things. 712 Innovations. Downtown Topeka is in the afternoons accepting donations. Jamie Hornbaker's State Farm Insurance Agency at 1615 37th, both accepting dresses. Jamie during mornings to afternoons, at 712 afternoons into early evenings.
So you have some different drop-off locations around the city, whatever is convenient for you.
And again, if you have a large group, we can arrange pickup. Also, what I know is a lot of companies are doing internal drives and then contacting me for a pickup. So if you want to coordinate like your church, your women's group, your professional group, your business, bring all the dresses together, and then I can come pick them up.
Excellent. Next phase, though, is the people who sew.
It's the people who sew, and there's a phase kind of between.
Okay, what's that? What's the next one?
Dry cleaning.
That's smart, yeah.
How's
that happening?
I don't know yet.
Dry cleaners, hey.
Hey.
If you want to do something fun, it's going to be a party.
Yeah.
Literally, lots of parties for some people who would really appreciate it.
So I have no idea how we're going to pull that off, and then. The final page will actually be the distributions, and so we're working with space and volunteers and making sure we find the right places, and we're connecting with all the schools.
Excellent. Well, a great program, really wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for being involved with it, and I want to thank all the folks who've really brainchilded this thing, and the Silverbacks in general. So great group of folks, and glad we could talk about it today.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's Jesyca Rodenberg talking about Silver Sparkle, being a community advocate. We could learn something from you.
Sleep more.
Yeah, I'm going to take a nap. That's a good idea. In the studio with us is Jeff Carson. He's the new president of the board of the Jayhawk Theater in downtown. How you doing, Jeff?
Well, aside from that, I'm doing great.
It's quite a job you stepped into.
I'm not sure what I stepped into. Yeah, the project's exciting, and I have there's a lot of reasons why I'm involved, and it's exciting.
The Jayhawk has been a topic for a long time. There's been an ongoing fundraising campaign for quite some time. For people who said, well, they were fundraising so long ago, like, how are we? How close are we? And, what's different now?
Well, I think what's different now is that the timing is better. Certainly the planets are lining up, I think, for this project to finally get a chance to get going. There has been a lot of hard work over the years, and it's good that the doors are still open. The organization is still there. The Jayhawk board essentially owns the theater space and the upstage gallery space. We've had not as much luck as we'd like to have in the last several years trying to sell a big plan all at once. Hoping to get that $8 million project has been our dream. But it became apparent that it wasn't really resonating with the donor community. The recession didn't help. You know, that came along, and that, you know, certainly put the brakes on a lot of fundraising donations for a lot of projects, and, you know, roads and water mains and everything else. And I think, you know, everybody's priorities had to be, you know, focused on, let's make sure we're going to get through the next year and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So but the timing's better now.
Great thing about it, you know, of course, downtown, you know, a lot of people said that wasn't possible. It kind of took a different approach, and it went through, and now we're building a new downtown. Of course, the Jayhawk being right in downtown, it's a perfect time to see this renaissance happening. It'll bring another spectacular piece. Now, I know one of the things that I did this year, in October, went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which was great. We got to go in and do something in the theater, more than just walking through as a tour. Like, we want to start seeing more of this stuff happen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's been great. And the city was gracious enough to walk through there with us, with the fire marshal and everybody else involved, to make sure that we could hold small events like that on an occasional basis and have people in there and not have to worry about, you know, breaking laws or having any danger and that sort of thing.
It was magical to be in there and doing, you know, just walking in for a tour. It's like, wow. But being in there for an event and actually, you know, watching a movie.
Yeah, that's right.
You feel it. It comes right back to you. I think it's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah.
Especially hearing people who had been there, you know, at some point in their life. They have very majestic stories to tell you of their memories of the theater.
Our board secretary, Ben Coates, and Wendy got married there just a few months ago.
Wow.
And back in the day, lots of people got married there, you know, and it was a vaudeville stage, and it had all kinds of, you know, receptions and activity and outside of it. But what we're going to open it up at is basically my personal home theater.
Sounds good. Can I come over?
Yeah, you and
will
about
there be beer?
899 other friends can come on over, and we'll squeeze everybody in, and we'll watch, like, you know, something fun.
Sounds good to me.
And there will be cold beer. And, and what we're trying to open is a venue that culturally people have a comfort level there. We think it is a gorgeous building. We will restore it historically correctly and all that sort of thing. But it is not going to be a museum. It is going to be a rock and roll house. It's going to be where we can turn up the volume loud and play movies in 7.1 Dolby Surround with excellent projection, beautiful architectural lighting in the place, just as people remember it, gorgeous velvet curtains, and make it a rich, lush experience. And the policy will be that when you sit down, somebody's going to come out on the stage, at least for the first 6 or 8 months, and say, get out your phone, take a picture, selfie yourself in here, tweet, Facebook, do all that stuff, and tell people where you're at, and tell people how good it is, because it will be good. And you know, the biggest challenge now is,
and it's already good.
It's already
good.
But once
it's gonna be
the
great.
Seats and the you know, the furnishings and the smell of popcorn and all that sort of thing.
Let's talk about how people can find out more online. There is a Facebook page.
The Facebook page.
What's the website for it?
Jayhawktheater.com.
I think that's pretty simple to remember, and you can find out.
There are ways to give, and PayPal. We really encourage people to join the Jayhawk Theater Society at $25. It's a very easy way to end up on a newsletter so that we can send out news about the project. And please tell people that you know that like movies, that this project is underway and we need your support.
I think you did it very eloquently. Very nice job, Jeff.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so. You should do something with like this kind of field.
I should do some video work or something. Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah, right. Well, here in the studio we have Pat Michaelis, and we're talking about a pocket park coming in on Kansas Avenue in downtown Topeka, the Harry Colmery Park. How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. We've really been trying to find out a lot about the historical nature behind everything that's coming into this little historical project that we're doing downtown on Kansas Avenue. And you added a little piece of this Harry Colmery Park. How did this come about?
Well, we all know that the Colmery O'Neill VA Medical Center is here, and if you ask people up and down the street who is Colmery, honestly, not very many of them would be able to identify or tie him to Topeka. So in doing some research, I found out that this gentleman wrote the GI Bill of Rights. He was a 60-year citizen of Topeka. He raised his family here. He was an attorney here in town. He was the president of the Kiwanis Club, president of the Chamber of Commerce, you know, totally involved in the community. And so as we were thinking about notable Topekans to be recognized, when you think about the impact of the GI Bill of Rights, it is one of the most significant pieces of legislation passed by any nation, anytime. We had to honor, you know, so it just kind of started there, and now we're in the middle of it.
You know, I'd lived here my whole life, and of course I knew the VA, but knowing exactly what you've said, I had really no idea that, you know, he passed the GI Bill.
Oh, there just were several things. He is being, the Presidential Medal of Freedom or Honor is being promoted by Grantham University out of Kansas City, and that's where I saw an article in the Kansas City paper, you know, about that. And then I got to reading a little bit more about it and found that he was from Topeka, you know, and so then that's where it started. And I approached the committee that was, you know, in the selection process, and you know, we just talked about it, and it became obvious that Mr. Colmery just was one of our notable Topekans. And
there's so many different things happening, you know, as far as these parks are going. What sets the Harry Colmery Park aside? You know, what are we going to see there?
Well, I mean, it's and this effort is sponsored by the Kansas American Legion, by the way. So their presence, you know, and emblems, as well, you know, and flags will be represented. And you know, I hope it is, and I think that there is. Okay, there's honor Mr. Colmery, show the benefits of the GI Bill, you know, people with diplomas and degrees and deeds and, you know, workforce training and that sort of thing. But I also think it will be a gathering point for veterans. I think, honestly, it will be a new dimension of potential customers for downtown that wouldn't necessarily have connected before.
And so it's just right outside our studio here, right on 9th and Kansas here. Right. Really going to be a spectacular spot and really a nice gathering piece. You know, what's your final thoughts here on this downtown project?
Well, I think it's exciting too. You know, I've always thought this, and Vince and I were engaged in this at the start of Go Topeka, and this is sort of the full circle, getting to downtown and getting it fixed up. And I do, you know, I am proud of it. I think it'll be used, and I think it's something that the entire community will be very pleased with.
Very good, very good. Well, that's Pat Michaelis. And Pat, I thank you so much for making sure that we shine the spotlight on a very, very worthy, notable Topekan here, who really shaped the world here in the United States. In the studio with us is Jared Starkey, in charge of 712 Innovations. Very exciting stuff happening in downtown Topeka. How are we doing, Jared?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Chris?
Glad to have you in the studio with us. You know, we've talked a couple of times about this. Once way back when this was just kind of an idea, and then now it's here. It's here.
It's happened to me.
Yeah,
it's happened to me.
So this is a makerspace.
Makerspace / co-working space.
Okay, so this is how this worked. You talked a little bit about that before, but let's go back and kind of just talk about the seedling of where this idea came from.
So about 4 years ago, a guy named Zach Sneven, really cares about Topeka, really good guy, had a meeting at his house to see who all was interested in setting up one of these co-working spaces where people who are interested in starting a business can come and they can get help and they can get a cheap office and they can network with other people who are interested in starting small businesses. And two kind of crowds showed up. One of them was interested in starting a business, and the other just wanted a space where they could go and they could tinker and make stuff. And there's actually a term for that. It's called a makerspace. And so the two groups met in the same place and then diverged and said, we're working on different things. And now how 712 has come about is they've actually circled all the way back around and said, no, wait, we're actually working on the same thing. And now we have it. And it's been a phenomenal ride so far. Over the last 6 months, actually at this point I guess I should say about 8 months, we have raised in total about $1.1 million in contributions, be that cash or services or other donations. So the support is obviously there for it. We opened on the 2nd of February, and we've been open for 1 month. I have a third of my membership quota that I need to be revenue neutral. And then to speak to some fundraising that we did, we have already raised our budget for 2015 for the entire calendar year.
Wow.
So we are doing very well so far. Very well so far.
Excellent. And to see it all come together, I went down there and got a little tour about it. And I'm really impressed that there's a lot of space, really. I mean, you had an idea, I have to say, when you were talking about it, you know, because we were just kind of kicking the idea around. I was like, oh, I can't picture, I don't know that this would just be any, and now walking through it, I see how there is absolutely practical application here, especially in getting people maybe to push that button to take a chance where they may not have before.
And that's the big thing that we're trying to support is there are tons of people out there who have these ideas. They watched Shark Tank and they said, well, that guy's idea was screwed up. No wonder he didn't get the deal. He should fix this part of his business. I could do that better. Or maybe they are working for someone and they said, you know, the way my company does this is all wrong. There's a better way to do this. So it's this, oh my gosh, I've been doing this thing and I had no idea people would pay me to do this thing I love. This is awesome. So I'm really hoping that we get more people like that.
How do folks find out more about 712 Innovations? Of course, there's a Facebook page.
There is a Facebook page. Like us on Facebook, 712 Innovations. There's lots of information on a minute-to-minute basis that I've tried to put out on there. As of right now, which hopefully by the time this airs, it's done, there is a massive update to the website that is getting built and pushed out. There has been so much stuff done that it's just been impossible to keep everything up to date. So rather than you know, have this sort of half done, half not done thing, we've just said, all right, we're going to wait until we have a whole big update to push out, and then by 8th of March, there should be a significant amount of content out there. How to join. We have a discount membership rate available now. If you can't afford the $50 a month, I have scholarships I can offer people.
Cool.
I should say I'm planning for a scholarship program. I've got a low income membership. I've got a volunteer membership. We've got everything available. So 712innovations.com. Like us on Facebook. See us on Twitter. We'll tweet funny cat pictures and make you love us.
That's good. As long as you have the cat pictures, I'm in. So
that's what it's all about.
That's Jared Starkey with 712 Innovations. If you have a great idea, well, bring it down there. You never know where it can go unless you try, right?
Exactly.
That's it. That's 712 Innovations in downtown Topeka. Of course, 712 South Kansas Avenue. We'll do it in 3, 2, 1. Well, we're going to start that over again. Because it could that have been timed out any more perfectly? All right.
3, 2, 1. Oh, that up.
Yeah, right. Jeez.